You can't help but love the name some of these villains give themselves. Once when Spider-Man was making fun of that whole thing, he came up with the purple panty waist. I think that's my favorite, and I've borrowed it a couple of times.
The brilliant scientist, Anthony Stark, has not even shared with his closest friends, Pepper and Happy, the secret that his mighty bodyguard, Iron Man, is Tony Stark himself.
Not long after this, Happy would discover Stark's secret and become his confidant. When Iron Man's circuits started to fail from age, he decided to upgrade his suit with microchips. Unfortunately, he was tethered to a power supply to keep him alive because his chest plate couldn't do it anymore. So he walked Happy through the process of growing the chips and all the rest. At least up to the point where I quit reading, they never let Pepper in on the secret. I could make lots of jokes about that, but I live in a house full of women, and even though it's starting to sag in some places, I like my face the way it is.
In an enemy land, both names leave bitter tastes.
Just by destroying Stark Enterprises, we could cripple their national defense. So you, Professor Venko, the world's greatest expert on electricity, must devise the destruction of Stark's mighty guardian, Iron Man.
Professor Venko is happy to oblige. He just found out that Iron Man is using his clunky old armor at the moment. That means he's slower and less maneuverable than he usually is. Venko has his own suit to battle Iron Man with.
Look behind you.
Iron Man! You have lured me into a trap, Venko! Guards, get him!
Nonsense. It is but a robot operating under my control. Now watch how my wizardry will finish the real Iron Man.
Well, sure, it's easy when you build a bomb into him, but how do you propose to do that to the real Iron Man? His suit generates massive bolts of electricity capable of causing unimaginable damage. The suit is actually sort of mauve, but Mauve Dude doesn't strike fear into hearts, so they dub him the Crimson Dynamo. At Stark Industries, they're getting ready to test a new rocket. Tony's spider sense is tingling, so to speak. He has a feeling something is going to go wrong. He'd better suit up just in case.
I wish my light armor wasn't still showing slight radionic absorptions.
In the pre-internet world, you could grab an obscure word like radionic and pretend it meant something important to your story, and you could be fairly sure nobody would bother to grab a dictionary or encyclopedia and look it up. Radionics is the pseudoscience of healing the body using radio waves or other electromagnetic radiation. It's similar to magnet therapy, but more involved, and it's just as bogus. How did his armor get involved in that? That's for him to know and us not to.
The rocket veers wildly. Its pilots have lost all control. Then, from out of nowhere, comes Iron Man.
Oh, no!
He can't. But Iron Man does. Cushion the impact, letting his own armor bear the brunt.
It's a good thing his armor is strong enough to keep it standing on its nose like that, too. Iron Man is walking funny as he leaves the scene. Even for him, that was a bit much. The pilots are safe, but examination discovers that every electrical circuit in the rocket has been fried into pork rinds.
Every component? That means it's got to be the work of some master saboteur.
Now, to reveal my own great power, I'll sweep this whole foolish land, blasting defense plants everywhere.
What on earth? Is it a man or a walking dynamo?
You are correct, it's both.
So, a man who can catch a sabotaged rocket and return to do battle deserves my best. This bolt of fire will fry you in your metal shell. What? No effect on you?
Not while my transistor power provides a force field which no firebolt can penetrate.
Iron Man has a force field, by the way. I'll bet I didn't know that. None of the Dynamo's attacks are working. He's getting frustrated, and when people get frustrated, they tend to talk.
I am Venko, the world's greatest expert on electricity.
The wizard Venko. That gives me an idea.
Why are you uprooting the tree?
To hit you with, duh! Since it's made of wood, he's insulated from any electrical backlash that might be protecting your suit.
No! Help me!
First, Professor Venko, you're going to try this earplug on for size. You can learn a lot by tuning in on your own people back home.
When Venko has completed his mission, his value to me ends. As the Crimson Dynamo, he could become too powerful. When he returns, Venko must be liquidated.
Venko has been unhappy with his government and the state of his country, wherever that is, for some time now. That's the thing that puts it over the top, imagine that, and he decides to defect.
The Crimson Dynamo has agreed to do research for Anthony Stark.
The traitor, the defector, they must all die. Venko, Iron Man, Anthony Stark. Now it is a job for the Black Widow.
Did someone mention my name?
This would be the first appearance of one of Marvel's most popular characters. Right now she's an enemy agent, but later she too would end up defecting and would ultimately join the Avengers. But we don't know that. She's the other side's most effective agent, and it's not hard to figure out why.
Or was it my bite?
The Black Widow. Beautiful, sinister, and deadly.
Hold on, that's not Scarlett Johansson. Well, of course it isn't. She won't be born for another 17 years. The original Black Widow wasn't the acrobat from the movies, though over the course of the comics she developed more and more skills, especially once she became an Avenger. Her thing is seduction, as we might guess. She knows it'll be easy with a womanizer like Tony Stark.
As for the others, their Borok will assist me.
What can he do?
Any more questions?
He can pick up the whole facility and bring it back here if you want. That's what Borak can do.
The famous Anthony Stark. I am Madame Natasha. And this is my brother Borok. He is a science teacher back home.
He teaches boxing and otherwise beating people up. That's a science too, you know.
Here to study your advanced technologies, you know.
But of course, you must let me show you both around. This is a guidance system made up of delicate transistorized lashes and lovely...
Yes?
But these things are of interest only to your brother. Suppose we let him continue the tour himself while we have dinner together.
Around here, we make the best equipment on the planet. We've advanced science by leaps and bounds.
From a small container, Borak sprays a mysterious fluid. In moments, the metal of the door is eaten away.
Madame Natasha had one of those too. When it accidentally went off in Stark's car, the two of them suddenly found themselves sliding along the freeway at 60 miles an hour on their butts. An executive from Looney Tunes saw it, and the rest is history.
Borak, why are you here?
To make sure that your genius will never serve the enemy.
No, you can't.
Your own invention will do it. Yes, the quiet one.
No! Stop! The tentacles are closing! Tightening!
But it gets worse. He puts on the Crimson Dynamo suit and starts destroying everything in sight. Now everyone thinks Professor Venko is a double agent. Tony has to cut his date short because there's a fire at the main plant. The radionics must have finished deabsorptioning because he puts on his light armor and heads in to help Venko save an experiment he's working on.
Iron Man goes down believing Venko has betrayed his trust. Where will Borak's diabolical conquest end?
They won't unmask him. A later issue of the Iron Man comic established that he's the only one who can remove the helmet. There are safeguards, which is to say small booby traps, to keep anyone else from messing with it.
When consciousness returns to Iron Man, he is in a submarine.
I, Borak, will bring Iron Man back alive. and dim the doubtful glories of Premier Toldo himself. But now, back to get my #1 prize, his employer, the great Anthony Stark.
Cool. You go search for Tony Stark while Iron Man recovers. That should keep Borak busy for a while.
You have them all, don't you, Borak?
Oh, you have Stark, don't you?
No. I thought that...
He must be in hiding. Probably still holed up in his slightly scorched factory.
As I said, Happy and Pepper are assuming Stark went into hiding as well, so that takes care of that. Borak can wander around and search for him. Inside the Iron Man suit, Stark is regaining his strength.
Lucky I carry this extension cord for emergencies. Now, to tear this tin fish apart.
Iron Man.
Venko! So, then it was someone else who...
It was Borak.
I should have guessed.
Oh, you know those commies, their voices all sound alike. He gathers Venko and they make their escape from the sub.
There he is. Venko. Iron Man. I did it before, and I can do it again. What? No effect.
Right, because for this round I had time to adjust my force field to your wavelength, and now...
Make your own joke about the whap sound effect.
Now! Finish him!
No, Venko. We don't play that way. We'll call the police.
I suggest you take him out of that suit while you're waiting for them.
Iron Man! Help! Please! I am pinned by the machine!
He'll deal with the crimson suit later. Damsel in distress.
I'm coming.
No, she's the Black Widow. It's a trick. Yes, a trick. With water power, penetrating to your transistors, short-circuiting all of your energy.
And it's working. Now I want Tony to explain why he built a complex force field into the suit but didn't make it waterproof.
No, Borak, I'll burn you to nothing with this laser pistol.
I could use the Tuco clip here, but I think I'll just say it myself. If you're gonna shoot, shoot. Don't talk.
You wouldn't dare. You will burn to nothing too. From the heat backlash of this water.
So don't shoot the water, shoot the suit. He said I'll burn you. He didn't say I'll burn the water.
And for the great Iron Man, a scolding that if Tony Stark is not delivered to us immediately.
Stop! I will dare anything for a country that has been so good to me. Words. It's Borak to prove to Tony Stark.
I said shoot the suit, not the water. This does not make sense.
No, Venko!
That makes even less sense. He got buried in steam. That might turn him into an overcooked roast, but it wouldn't do that. We won't see the wrap-up, but we can assume that A, Borak needed some serious headache medicine after Iron Man got through with him, and B, the Black Widow escaped. She must have, because she'll be appearing in the next episode.
The story of Professor Venko is told in many places.
Just once, somebody should be so loyal to me.
You don't gain loyalty by fear and depression, dude. You gain it by giving people a reason to be loyal to you. It starts with you being loyal to them. If you show someone that you truly do care about them and want to take steps to improve their life, whether you mean it or not, whether you have the capability to do it or not, some people will be loyal to you. Tell them be loyal or die and you'll get lip service, nothing more. Maybe you should try a different line of work. You're not very good at this one. And the Black Widow?
Wherever she goes, I'm sure that someday the Black Widow will spin one web too many and catch herself.
Tony Stark proved that just like me, he's not a prophet. It didn't shake out that way from Madame Natasha, her real name, by the way, Natasha Romanova. Life took her down a very different path. We'll see the beginning of that path next time, so stay tuned.
Tony Stark makes you feel he's a cool exec with a heart of steel.
As Iron Man, all jets ablaze, he's fighting and fighting with repulsor rays. Amazing armor,
As Iron Man,
a blazing bomber.
Dude doesn't similar to magnet theppery invents. Yeah, come on. You give it the goo goo. Okay, shall I try that again?